Shabbat Shalom. As we read Parashat Mishpatim each year, our community returns to a Torah passage that deals directly with pregnancy, harm, responsibility. And that's why this Parashat has become a moment to reflect on reproductive rights through Jewish life. In Exodus 21:22, the Torah distinguished between harm to a pregnant woman and harm that results in the loss of a fetus, assigning moral weight to pregnancy without equating fetal loss with murder. Rabbinic tradition builds on this distinction. The Talmud, especially Ochalot and Sanhedrin, understands the fetus as part of pregnant woman rather than an independent legal being, and teaches that full legal personhood, nefesh, begins at birth. Together, these sources reflect a consistent Jewish value system. Pregnancy and potential life are meaningful and deserving of care, yet the dignity, agency, and well-being of a person who is already alive in the world take precedence. This ethical discourse is more relevant to us what we think. 1 in 4 women will need abortion care in their lifetime. Read this way, Jewish teachings from Parashat Mishpatim support access to reproductive care as a matter of justice, honesty, and compassion, which are core to Jewish legal values. Perhaps this is why over 80% of Jewish adults already support legal abortion in all or most cases. One of the most consistent themes across rabbinic literature is the rejection of deception and coercion in matters of moral consequence. People must be given truthful information and full autonomy to act responsibly. That principle matters because of what is happening right now. I have recently learned that the so-called Crisis Pregnancy Centers, CPC, from a documentary named Preconceived. These are in fact often religiously affiliated organizations that misrepresent themselves at medical clinics. In the United States, they now outnumber legitimate abortion clinics by roughly 3 to 1. Despite being unregulated, non-medical religious facilities, therefore not being subject to HIPAA law or to maintain client confidentiality, CPCs were exposed to having staff wearing lab coats and scrubs, along with spreading false information and performing ultrasound. This disguise and lack of expertise or training intentionally creates delays and barriers to legitimate healthcare. Think about performing a surface-level ultrasound and failing to properly diagnose ectopic pregnancy, which can become a life-threatening emergency if not treated promptly. What is more, CPCs increasingly offer administration of the so-called abortion reversal pills that are not based on science and do not meet clinical standards for safety or efficacy. These are unproven and potentially dangerous. From a Jewish ethical standpoint, this is not just bad medical practice. This touches upon so many important Jewish values. We are commanded to follow the key principles, pikuach nefesh, to preserve life and emet, the truth. We are prohibited from geneviat da'at, the stealing of someone's understanding, and lifnei iver, allowing a person to make a harmful decision. Misinformation in a moment of vulnerability is exactly that. This is where values move from text into practice. Today I'd like to introduce a Jewish nonprofit fund named Red Tent Fund, RTF, and celebrate that Temple Emunah has recently become their congregational educational partner, along with many other schools across the states and denominations. Red Tent Fund, RTF, helps people who are seeking abortion care, Jews and non-Jews alike. Given that 13 states have a total ban on abortion and 21 states restrict coverage of abortion in all private insurance plans, the reality is that many patients are forced to overcome financial barriers to get needed care. Having partnered with independent clinics that are not CPCs across the states, they provide direct financial support, help with travel and logistics, and emotional support from volunteers who understand how isolating these decisions can feel. Since its founding in 2024, the Red Tent Fund has already helped over 1,400 people access care, often reducing travel from hundreds of miles to manageable distance. Their motto is simple and deeply Jewish. When someone is vulnerable, we show up. Supporting those in need and living according to our teachings is a way of exercising our revut, mutual responsibility. So today I invite our community to consider how we might show up for those facing difficult reproductive decisions through learning and supporting organizations such as the Red Tent Fund. You can find the handouts about the RTF and other Jewish organizations working in support of reproductive rights on our literature table during Kiddush. Shabbat Shalom.